Hello viewers out there, including teachers. This is another good one. Don't want you to miss out, the learners and even the candidates. We have two groups of earthworms. There is what we call the flatworms, whereby the flatworms we find there the liver flukes and even the tapeworms. Then on that, there is also what we call the segmented worms. For segmented worms, this is where we find the earthworms, the roundworms, the hookworms, the leechworms, and the ascaris. So those are the examples of the segmented worms. Now I just wanted us to note one by one. We begin with what we call the earthworms. Get a pen, note somewhere. The earthworms. We are saying that earthworms always come out from the soil when it is always raining. Reason to get enough oxygen for respiration. So they always come out in order to get enough oxygen for respiration. It is always a good question in P4, P5, P7. Why do earthworms always come out when it's raining? They come out in order to get more oxygen for respiration. Now, on the same point about earthworms, when you get oil and you pour on the earthworms, there is reason. Oil blocks the respiratory organs. Remember, it breathes through the skin. It's squeezed. Actually, it's skin. What happens when you pour oil? The oil blocks the breathing pores on the skin of the earthworm. So that's the small content about earthworms. Then when you go to tapeworms, remember they have suckers and hooks for attachment onto the intestinal worms. Why do they stay in the intestine? Actually, they stay in the intestinal walls. Reason, they don't have the body system, actually the structure for digestion of the body. So that's why they always feed on the digested food in the stomach. That's why they always stay. Now, also leaving that aside, they feed by absorbing digested food through their porous segments. They feed by absorbing digested food through their porous segments. Remember, they are inside the stomach. There is digested food. They are able to feed on that digested food using their porous segments. We are noting, we are still moving on. Lastly, allow me to talk about the hookworms. Remember, these hookworms, they penetrate through the bare feet. The bare feet, if it rains and you don't put on your shoes, sandals, gumboots, what happens is they penetrate and they enter into your body. So they feed on the blood causing anemia. For them, they feed on blood and they cause anemia. So they may ask a question, what disease do the hookworms cause or bring out? For them, they bring out a disease of anemia. They have hooks for attachment also. Also, they reproduce by laying eggs and undergo an internal fertilization. So they reproduce by laying eggs and they undergo. Lastly, this is a good one to everyone. We should learn and relearn. It is a good one. We should note it and we should give it to our learners. It is wrong to say that earthworms die and form humus in the soil. I'm repeating this. It is very wrong to say that earthworms die and form humus in the soil because we need the use of earthworms in the soil when they are still alive. So we always need, that's why we discourage that they don't die. Fine, they die, but remember there is this other importance of it. So we love it, we love them because they do a lot of purpose in the soil. Because they help in soil aeration, they help in formation of humus, they improve on the soil fertility, the worms are food for poultry. So they have a very important role, just that they are very dangerous. So those are the earthworms which I've touched so far, touched today, the roundworms, everything. I've exhausted everything. So tell mommy, tell daddy, save this video, you give it to your learner or your child so that you can learn more from this platform. Thank you.